can you still make money in 2025 with MCA? The answer to that is absolutely yes. If you have the experience, if you have the skills, if you have everything in place, you absolutely can. Meaning, your lenders, your data, how you're hitting them, your dollars, your skill set. You absolutely can make money in 2025. I'd argue that if you have like really dialed in stuff, you might be able to make money easier. What makes it harder is that, the competitive nature of the industry, a lot of, things happen, and, if you don't have the experience, someone more experienced will beat you out. And that might just not be your experience, but it might be the things they have in place. This could be their lender list, their relationships with lenders. There's some shops that just, call up the lenders and they know them personally, and, they get a lot more things done because they funded a lot of money with them. So the answer is yes. If you do everything right, you can absolutely make money in 2025 in merchant cash advance. The next is, how to get started in the industry. How did I get started? I got started, me and my buddy were at a bar, and someone walked in and said they were making $300K a year doing merchant cash advance, and we couldn't believe it. We were at Denny's all night talking about it. I was so excited, went to Craigslist, went to a shop, got sat down. They gave me a bunch of leads, and I said, F this, and I left. And then I think a couple years later, I circled back. I got connected with one of my business partners, thank God. And then so it just started to steamroll. And then I went to another shop, started to, work remotely as a broker, learned from there, started managing another shop, and then went to another shop sort of just on a team, and then went back with my business partner, and then we started again. So, I learned a lot remote, but I had sales experience going into this. I've been in sales my whole life. I've been in different types of sales environments. My parents met at an auto dealership, years ago, so it's kind of in my blood. So if you have some sales experience, absolutely utilize it in this industry. The upside is so great, and you're really helping people. All this stuff about putting people out of business, that's true. If you're, just doing really high risk, that's just like really just, really bad high risk. I don't want to say bad because there's a need for all of it. People will absolutely pay 50 or 60% to get money like that, so they can use it for something and pay it right back. But there obviously are going to be, business owners that are utilizing the capital in a wrong way, where they're using the money to, to pay off the other ones, right? So, but on the more higher up side, the more BC paper, your A paper, these are real deals, and these are real things that are helping the business owner. It's covering their payroll, it's covering, expansion, whatever they need. So, keep that in mind, that you are actually providing a service. Only maybe 10, 15, especially now, 15, maybe 20% at most are getting qualified through traditional banking services. So those business owners need capital, okay? And someone's going to give it to them. Hopefully they qualify for the, the best thing you can get them. So, how I got started was a whole, puzzle piece, but it made sense in the end. I would say if you have no experience, go work at a shop, find a place. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. And if you don't like it, guess what? Go somewhere else until you find a place you like. Hopefully, you make some connections, and you get going. What about in terms of remote? So I think I just talked about this, but I wanted to say with remote, you have to be disciplined, and you have to want it, okay? Like I was trained, from home, and I was thinking about MCA all day long. I was looking up on YouTube, I was looking up blogs, I was reading articles. If you have that obsession, then yes, I think you can do anything remote, but what really helps is being around people and being around other salespeople that really know the industry, and so you have that competitive nature where you're competing against somebody, but you're also learning. So I was fortunate enough, again, I have people in my family and the people that I work with remote that I'm on the phones all day talking about deals, hearing about this deal went down, this merchant got this got that, this is the, this is the deal of the day. So if you can create that kind of environment, obviously you can if you're just one person and you're trying to get it in yourself, but if you can go on YouTube and, read articles and follow all the new things in the industry, all the buzz, and, research the products, research the industries, then you absolutely can. It might just be more of an uphill battle than just someone starting at a shop. Okay. So the last thing I want to cover is the type of data to buy. So I covered this in another video. There's data that's like organic, from your social media and all that stuff, which is super tough. There's paid ads like, Google, Meta, the IG type ads, which you're going to be spending a lot for. Hopefully you have some that's really good. And then there's your bought leads, the ones where you're buying, the different type, the live inquiries or the UCC, all that kind of stuff. So there's different kind of levels. You're going to spend. If you think you're just going to get deals for free by just looking them up on Google, I think I talked about this. It's tough. So decide what your budget is. If you need somebody for leads, I have someone I can send you to that can kind of qualify to see if you're a good fit. But find your budget, and then whatever aligns best with that budget. If you say to me, hey, I've got $100,000 that I can just let go every single month, I'm going to say put it into Google and Facebook and Instagram all day long. But if you say you have $2,000, a month, or $5,000 or 10,000, it might be a little different. So these are some things to keep in mind. And then, yeah, God willing, let's crush it in June. All right, thanks everybody.